All right, Brandon Golden joining us on today's edition of Pirate Radio Live. Brandon, how we doing, man?
I'm good, my man. How you doing?
Hey, doing good. Saw a post of, I believe, Russell Wilson getting into the batter's box. Was it for the Savannah Bananas? And Russ, of course, played baseball and football at NC State. We see these two-sport athletes from time to time, and it's amazing. I don't think we really comprehend how difficult that is to be elite at two different things like that at such a high level, Brandon. But how much respect do you give those guys knowing what all they go through?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, even just, what some of those guys did in college where they have to go from spring practice and get on a golf cart and drive over to, BP and get on the field and do everything they need to do. Like they're so, and it oftentimes Clip like happens at the quarterback position too, where, they're in charge of the entire offense and they have to know every read and they have to not only know what their cadence is and what the play is, but they have to know where everybody else is supposed to be as well. So just like the intellectual side of things, that not even the physical side, like it's through the roof, and then the demand of being a student and a normal person outside of that is challenging. So yeah, it's pretty special what a lot of those guys do.
And Brandon, I don't know how much of that for these guys playing is the technology and the advances in training. I think Terrell Owens might have been the first person I heard cryo chamber with back in
Yeah,
the 2000s. Maybe not the first to do it, but the first time I heard it. But how about the advances and how I don't know. Maybe we see more injuries now, but we also see guys playing longer and being able to bounce back quicker, maybe recover quicker.
yeah. I think there's just a lot more information, Clip. Like there's just a lot more people that understand what their bodies are going through, and they try their best, and they spend their money where it matters, and then trying to get there on the recovery side. Like they talk about LeBron spending over $1 million a year and just his recovery and what he does alone. So you look at the baseball side of things too. I mean, guys are playing 162 games in the regular season, and just what they have to do to make sure that they're ready to go out there and do it day in and day out is pretty remarkable.
It made me think about just how everybody's trying to get an edge, and Blake Harrell's the most accommodating guy ever. He went with me to do a chili eating contest at a apartment complex here in Greenville
That's awesome.
on Veterans Day, and so we go in and the person that runs it was showing him the gym and stuff, and he sees a massage chair, and he said, "Well, how much one of these run you?" And he's looking at all the equipment, and he's kind of thinking about what what they have at ECU and
Of course.
and everything. So I found that kind of interesting. Like you're always looking for, hey, what can we do better, right?
Yep. And how can we treat the players better? I was working one of the NFL teams I'm working with right now. Like I was up there not too long ago, and they talked about it all the time. They're like, if it's for the players, it can help the players have a better experience and be ready to play at the highest level. Like the answer is normally yes. So that's really cool that Blake's already locked in with that, and that's why he's thinking that way. And I think that's why the players and the fans and just everybody has rallied around him so much.
Yeah, no
Blake's
doubt.
the hell yeah and all that stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw Anthony Smith. I had him on the show today. Just talked to him, get drafted, and a couple of Pirates signing rookie free agent contracts. So good weekend for them, and we'll see if we can keep getting Pirates sprinkled throughout the NFL. Got a ton of Pirates sprinkled throughout Major League Baseball and the minors. And Brandon, awesome weekend of baseball for the Pirates. Maybe their best thus far this year with the sweep over South Florida. So a 4-0 week. Got NC State Memphis coming up, but man, that was big for Cliff and the guys to get three straight over the weekend.
100% Clip. And anytime you can end games early too, like we did on Friday and Sunday, like
Yeah.
anytime you can run rule somebody, that matters and that means something. And the committee will definitely be looking at that as we get further down the road for regional, rankings and all that good stuff. So super excited for those guys. Like I've been talking about all season. Like I knew it was going to happen at some point, and they were going to do the things that they need to do. I didn't know it'd be at that point or to that level, but again, they worked so hard. Those players put so much in, and yeah, it's really awesome to see that happen.
Brandon Golden joining us. Brandon, my Braves stay hot. The Mets and Phillies continue to lose. Jared's White Sox, I don't think they're setting the world on fire, but their new player, the Asian fella who's leading the league in home runs. And have you studied kind of what they do in other countries? Like
Yes.
Ichiro And maybe it was just him personally, but he was like one of the more bendy, stretchy
Yeah,
guys ever in Major League Baseball. How much have you looked at like what other leagues and what other countries are doing, Brandon?
that's an outstanding question. And Sean Fisher, who's one of the pitching guys over at Duke now, him and I talk a lot about a lot of like the Asian cultures and how they have guys move and the way they like. I mean, obviously Yamamoto throwing the jab out there in left field and stuff like that. Just being able to see the way they go about things is really outstanding and it's astonishing. I think when you look at it, going back to like strength and conditioning early on in my career, the Soviet sports reviews like of the early 70s, late 60s were something that we really dove into. Like just understanding how those Eastern European bloc countries trained their athletes was huge to see. So that's really kind of a foundation of my thought processes and like seeing what other countries do because if we really want to boil it down, like America doesn't develop athletes as well as historically, as well as some other countries do. So we can always learn from people. So really understanding the Asian cultures and the way they teach the throw or the way they teach the pelvis to move has been very impactful in my career as of late.
Well, I mean, I didn't realize how far we were behind Russia until I watched Rocky Four and saw Drago
Yeah,
training, and Rocky's like lifting meat, and
yeah.
Drago's got like wires hooked up to him. What are
Oh
we
yeah,
doing?
punch for meat and all this stuff. It's like, damn, no
what,
doubt.
what are we doing, man? We're way behind.
Uh,
On that note, Brandon, what are your favorite sports movies of all time?
greatest sports movies of my. That's great. I would say Miracle is one of my favorites. Obviously, that's a really easy one. Remember the Titans clip? There's some kids that come train here that don't know what Remember Titans is
I
or
gotta
was.
watch Remember the
That's
Titans.
that we're gonna have to get a poster and put it up as soon as we start the academy. We're gonna have to put a Remember the Titans poster upstairs so these kids can learn what Remember the Titans was. Hell, we might even have them watch it. That's a great one. And then I don't know. I love the Mighty Ducks movies. We watched those this weekend with my kids. The two boys were watching. They were like, "Let's watch D3. We watched D2 last time, so it was cool. Like
Wow, that's
to see
great.
some of the movies, but I would say my favorite one is Miracle. Obviously, when he's like, "Who do you play for?" and he stands up and he says his name and he says USA. He's like, "That'll be all boys." Like that. That gives me chills every time just thinking about it, talking about it. So that for me,
How old are you, Brandon?
36 years old.
Oh wow, okay. So I'm older than you. I went through a nice stretch in the '90s with Mighty Ducks, Rookie of the Year, Little Big League. Like there was
Yep.
but I feel like every era kind of has that too,
Yeah.
right? Like
Mhm.
your era, like hardball or something like
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's stuff like that. So every
Those are,
era probably has their sports movies, but Major League's my all-time favorite, and it's
that's
also I think the first rated R movie I ever saw. So like
I think so
it's
too. Yeah, my dad let me watch that when I was probably like 6 years old. I was watching all that stuff when I was coming up. So like, yeah, my kids have seen Rookie of the Year. My middle son Carson calls it Rookie of the Deer. But yeah, I've tried to let those kids watch as much of that stuff as possible. Let's watch a movie. And I'm like, cool. Let's watch something from when Daddy was little.
Heck yeah, that's
Those
awesome.
movies are a little bit more, I don't know, I guess applicable in my opinion.
Yeah, and you got the training and the bounce back part from Rookie of the Year. Where
No doubt.
did
No
you ever
doubt.
try to like make a and do the Rowan Gardner method on
But his
someone?
arm? No, I haven't. I haven't. I've tried to stay out of lawsuits, Cliff.
Brandon Golden joining us today, Pirate Radio Live. All right, BG, what you got going on? Any new editions of the Brandon Golden Show on the way?
Yeah, we're trying to get some of those locked in. Everybody's been kind of busy. We're still trying to get Sean Camp locked in, and then some more of our buddies in big leagues and the minor leagues. So we'll get that coming. I'm going up there this weekend, so who knows? Maybe we can kind of get with those guys at George Mason and see what they got going on. But yeah, just rolling, man.
Hey, enjoyed the chat as always, man. Have a good week. We'll check in with you next week.
Thanks, brother. See you, man.